difficult computer. Okay. All right. So we have most of the sisters here. Assalamu alaikum to the sisters who have just joined. My name is Amina. Welcome to Sisters Seeking Salam. We're so excited to be here with everybody, all of you turning up. So Jazakallah khair for turning up today and giving your precious time to us. I was just asking everybody, to put in the chat box what they're grateful for. And in that, we moved on to the love of Allah. So I was about to start the topic of the day, but I want to say salam to you first, make dua, seek Allah's blessing in what we're doing, and then we'll start, inshallah. And I got reminded that I hadn't pressed record, and that is so important for the sisters who miss it or want to catch up. So alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Inna alhamdulillah wa nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. It is so nice to be here, Jazakallah khair, sisters. So the topic of today, loving for the sake of Allah. I was about to say, I was saying before I press record, so I'll say it again. I didn't used to understand what that meant. A few years ago, even up to a few years ago, I used to think, yeah, I love you for you. And I didn't see where for the sake of Allah came in. And it took some time because it wasn't that I didn't love Allah and I didn't love the person. I just didn't know how the two came together. So that, so it felt odd to say I love you for the sake of Allah because I didn't understand it. Now it feels like I only love for the sake of Allah, and so in gaining this understanding, alhamdulillah, something has shifted from when I didn't know how to love for the sake of Allah to actually knowing, to only being able to love for the sake of Allah because I learned what I'm about to teach you now, inshallah. Okay, but before I teach you, I want to ask you some questions. First one. How many sisters of you were married or have been are married now? So just give me some yeses. So if you have been or you are. So that I kind of gauge if I'm going to pitch it more towards married or pitch it more towards parenting, right? Okay. A few more so I know where you're at. Okay, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Okay, alhamdulillah. All right, so enough of us to go on the marriage topic, but I will move into parenting because it's applicable to both, but I think it's easier with children in some aspect. Right, next question. When you were getting married, that's why I said were married before, because we've had that experience. So when you were getting married, what did you want to feel from either being married? Give me 3 words maximum and put them on the same line. So don't press enter, otherwise it will go between lines and I'll miss what you're saying. What did you want to feel from being married or having from your husband? What did you want? What feelings did you want from that? So maximum 3 words. Hafsa says to be loved, respect. Yeah, loved, understood, respected, cared, love, respected, love, care, respect. Similar themes, love, safe, friendship, safe, complete. Oh yeah, you complete me. Remember that scene in Jerry Maguire? I used to watch that and think, yeah, like that's what I want. But it didn't work out like that. It's quite hard to get someone to complete you. That's what I learned in the end. Companionship, protection, security, kindness. Okay, alhamdulillah. So what happened when you, if you didn't get that? How did you feel? I'm presuming that led to a slight kind of disappointment that I didn't always feel that. What happened when it didn't happen that way for you? What did you feel? And alhamdulillah for the sisters who got it. But tell me, if you didn't, what did you feel? Disappointed, frustrated, withdrawn, destroyed, lost? Yeah, lost. Hurt, sad. Keep going, sisters. Doubt. Unhappy, upset, angry. Are we starting unworthy, betrayed, feeling like you've lost your identity, trying to please. Right, okay, thank you. That's the next step. So when you didn't get it, and I hope you're going to see a pattern here, that it wasn't just you, that none of us got that fairy tale kind of feelings that we wanted to feel, that I was complete and absolutely, you know, exactly what I wanted. That feeling, not that in any way that I'm saying anything bad about our husbands. I'm not. I'm saying these were all our expectations. This was all the mindset that we went into. We probably didn't even share that mindset with our husbands and say, hey, you know what, when we get married, your job is to complete me. Like, did anyone say that? No. But we had this expectation, right? Okay. Yeah, never said it. It's a tall order, exactly, you know. Okay, so you didn't get it, felt really bad. What did you do in response? Did you keep trying harder or did you give up? Withdrawed, okay. What else? Harder, did you try harder or give up? Harder or give up? Harder. Until what? Sister said harder. Tried harder, harder, got frustrated and upset, kept trying until you broke. Unfortunately, that's what it happens. You keep trying until you just feel like you've got nothing to give, right? Just keep giving and giving and giving. You know you're not broken. You know Allah will never give you more than what you can bear. Alhamdulillah, it just feels like that. It just feels like you had given everything that you had. Okay. In one case, sister says that they were friends and open, but the parents-in-law took over. Yes, that's another difficulty, that dynamic in relationships that we will have to talk about, inshallah, at some point. Depressed and felt misunderstood. Yeah. Now, in all of that cycle of emotions, right? There's the I want so much, and then there's the fall of the disappointment, and then there's I'm going to try, and then there's a fall again. And you see it as a cycle of this, and to eventually something breaks, and it's the marriage that breaks. It's neither you or I. It's never too much, so none of us die from trying or giving up. But eventually the marriage just breaks, whether it's the connection that just seems to be lost, or you just separate physical in your own physical way. And I want to tell you why. Because when I was giving, I gave it to get something in return. I did it because if I try really hard, if I do everything for you, if I give you everything that I think you need and you want, then you'll love me, then you'll make me feel secure, then you will comfort me. Who agrees with what I'm saying? Was that the reason of your giving? Need some yeses or nos? Okay, well, it's 100% yes. Yeah. Yes, Rosina says it was conditional. We didn't even realize it. I'm not saying we knew it. Like, it's not like it was a plan in our head. I'm only going to make you a really nice dinner if in return you give me your undivided attention for an hour or two. We didn't even think it like that, but we just hoped that that's what would happen. Or, before they come home, you've done everything, so that all they have to do is sit and relax with you, for them to then go on and do something else. And you're like, but I had this plan, I had imagined this amazing time together, and then it doesn't happen. Because we're imagining a lot, we're wanting a lot, but we're not even communicating that. And then whatever we're doing it from the basis of, I'm giving you, but I want something back. Right? Now, here's the thing. Can you ever get what you want back? Can you ever get what you want back? The feelings of safety. Someone can only keep you as safe as Allah wills, because whatever they do for you is ultimately coming to you from Allah. They can't protect you if Allah wants harm to befall you. They can't complete you because only Allah can complete you. And even if yes, safety only comes from Allah, right? Even completion comes only when you're connected with Allah. It can come for a moment, like you can have really kind of like incomplete thoughts, but the moment that that passes, you're no longer complete. It's a very temporary kind of dunya happiness. So there we are trying to seek these feelings, which are really hard to get. And if we do, we get it just for a short while. And I'll give you an example. Have you ever thought if your house was completely up to date, completely clean and organized, you'd feel happy, right? And then just once you manage to do that, and you're happy for a short moment, and then someone comes in and something happens, the kids drop something, or there's another situation, and what's happened? You're back to being upset or frustrated again. We hold on and we think, I've got to get to this goal, I've got to get to this goal, I've got to get to this goal, and when I get to that goal, then I'll be okay, right? But that place doesn't come. Because why? Actually, we're looking for it from other than Allah. We're looking for completion, security, protection from everything that we are looking for, even love. Well, Allah is the all-loving. We can show each other love. Inshallah, by me showing up today, that's me showing you love, right? I have my family, but I'm here loving you, sharing, showing up for you. I can show you love. However, I can't make you feel loved. And let me explain to you why. Have you ever been in a position where you have been hugged by someone, but instead of receiving that hug in a warm and loving way, you're sitting there thinking, not okay with you still. I'm not happy with you. Don't think this makes everything okay. Right? So whatever you're thinking is what you'll feel. So if you're thinking, oh, I feel so loved, this is such an amazing feeling, that's all I wanted, then that hug will look like it's making you feel loved. But if you're sitting there thinking, I'm not okay with you, I'm really not okay with you, this hug doesn't mean a thing, the same hug does not make you feel loved. So is it the hug? Is it the gesture? Or is it the thoughts that you're having at the time that someone does an action for you? It's the thoughts, right? So people can show love, but it doesn't mean the person receiving that is going to feel loved. In the same way, you must have done so many things to show love, but it didn't mean that person felt love the way they wanted, right? I'm sure you've heard of the 5 languages of love, and they're quite useful here because there's different ways that people like to be shown love. Now we're talking about showing love because that's all we can do. I can't guarantee you're going to feel love. I'm showing up here out of love, but you might be sitting there not feeling the love either because you're thinking of something else or you're thinking of whatever you're thinking. So we can show love, but it doesn't mean the other person receives it in the way you want to give it. Now, often you'll find in relationships, and that can be children or spouses or in-laws or parents, that people are doing things that they think show love. But because it's not the way you are and the way that you want to receive it, you still don't feel that love. So the different love languages, I won't go into all of them now, but there's 5. There's affection. So some people love touch. If you touch me, that means, you love me. But then some other people like to give love by buying you small gifts or by doing services for you. Like, I'll run to a shop for you. I was out, I'll get that for you. They do jobs for you. And that's their way of showing love. Or giving your time and attention, or using lots of lovely words like, you're so wonderful, you're so sweet, right? There's different ways. And you're smiling as I say this. Why? You know what you like to receive. But often, it doesn't mean that that's what that person is giving you. Somebody wants, one of you speaking English and the other one is speaking French, and you're not receiving it, right? So that can happen too, where someone is showing you love and you don't receive it. Done.
Not Ashton Crushy. You don't want to put that down in your school thing, Nia.
Oh, they gonna kill me.
Often we can then think, you don't love me. You're not giving me what I want. Right? So just be aware of that. I'll talk to you about the love of Allah and for the sake of Allah, but I just wanted to bring that in because often there's a lot of tension or dissatisfaction because actually I give love one way, but I want to receive it. But the person who I'm giving it to, they want to receive it in a different way, and vice versa. You give love, you're given love in a way, but it might not be the way you want to receive it. But it doesn't mean that people don't show love. It doesn't mean that people aren't showing love all the time. It just means that sometimes they're just showing it in the way that they like to receive it. It's the way that they want to do it, right? Okay, so that sometimes can happen. But let's go back. Let's go back to the roller coaster and the disappointment. What if you could save yourself that roller coaster? What if you could actually you could jump off that? Because even when you withdraw and you give up, that's really not a nice place to be either. It's really hard because you still want it. You're still disappointed. But you're stuck in a place where you've given up hope, or you've given up trying, or sometimes we take it that, well, maybe I'm not enough then. Maybe it was me. And that's a tough place to be. And even if we keep trying, that's still like, well, why is everything I'm doing not enough? And I used to be like that. I used to do everything I could, and then it felt like, well, why am I still not feeling complete? And this idea of completion, because as I said earlier, and some of the sisters put it up there, mashallah, well done. You've been attending lots of Sisters Seeking Salam. You're going to be hosting with us soon. Your completeness can only come from Allah. That feeling that you get when you deeply connect with Allah can only come from Allah, because you know why? He's the only one that sustains you, provides for you, protects you, loves you. All of his qualities, all of the attributes, they come via him to you. And they may come through one avenue in your life, or they might come through another avenue. But it's always coming from him. Right? But sometimes we get caught up. We get caught up. It's like, imagine someone comes to deliver you roses every day at your door. Delivery man every day comes and delivers you a rose. Mariam's smiling because I've told you this already. Right? So someone comes and delivers you roses every day. So much so you fall in love with the delivery man. So much so that you're waiting for the delivery man. So much so that you are in anticipation, just baking for them and doing whatever you can for when they arrive, just to receive that rose. You're doing everything you can and you're consumed in your thinking. And yet you forget the one who sends you the flowers. The one who sends it to you day after day after day. We get consumed with the delivery man. And I think sometimes that's why we struggle to find what we're looking for. How could Allah give it to us in that person? When we are seeking, we become consumed and we become, just making it almost like my dunya objective, just to make sure I can get. Yes, we're falling in love with the delivery man. That is the problem, and not with the one who sends you the flowers. That is the problem. How many, before I carry on, how many sisters, I'm trying to cross my legs here, but I keep moving the table, so excuse me 1 second. Okay. How many sisters resonate with what I'm saying? Did you fall in love with the delivery man? Oh, Farah. Yes. Yeah. See, you can resonate. Yeah. Few more, few more. Are we, is what I'm saying making sense to you? Yeah. And that's the thing. Because we go into marriage wanting to feel something. And at that point, Amina says, I hope my husband doesn't overhear this. No, did you fall in love with a delivery man? Yes, we need to fall in love with the maker and the sender of the flowers. Can you stop making me laugh, ladies? It's a serious conversation. We are forgetting al-Wudu, source of love. As-Salam, the source of peace. The one who will complete you, the one who will protect you. See, in that whole journey of marriage, right from day one, we wanted to feel something that we could not have felt from the marriage itself, not from a human being. Even if you were shown love in the way you wanted it, didn't mean you received it. And you may have, but it didn't mean it lasted for as long as you wanted it to. There isn't one person who has gone into marriage wanting to feel these feelings and have actually got it successfully throughout the entire time of their marriage. Because why? That's not where it comes from. We are looking from creation only what we can get from the Creator. And if we do find it temporarily and get lost in that, it's an illusion. But the fact that you didn't get lost in that illusion, the fact that you were disappointed is a huge blessing, sisters. It means Allah didn't leave you to yourself. It means Allah kept letting you remember time after time after time. That's not where you're going to get it from. That's not where you're going to get it from. Turn to me. Allah wants you to turn to Him. Look from Him. Completely find your security and yourself in Him. And then, yes, of course, show love. But then when you are making Allah at the center of your actions and why you're doing what you do, not for anything in return, but the reason why you do it is because you're grateful for what Allah has given you. You're grateful for the love that Allah gives you. You're grateful for the blessings that Allah gives you. And then you show love, you will see the barakah from that action. SubhanAllah. You will thank the postman. that will be the end of it. Thank you, postman. You know. But then you might write a love letter to the one who sent you the flowers. That analogy, it's a very light-hearted way. A light-hearted way of me saying that we can become attached to the dunya. We can be attached to the creation. We can become attached so much so to people, whether it's our children or our husbands or whoever actually, or friends, because we think we need something from them. We need them to love us. We need them to help us feel complete. We need them to help us feel good enough, to help us feel worthy. And we make our entire, though we're still praying and worshiping Allah, but around those relationships, we become consumed in those relationships. We become consumed in what can I now do to make this work? But what does make this work mean? Give me what I was really looking for. Right? And we can really get consumed in that. And I remember realizing I was consumed in it. I remember just doing everything I could for my husband. And bless him, at one point he did say to me, he doesn't say much, he doesn't really speak out, but at one point he did say, you know, I can't be your husband, brother, and father all in one go. And I took that really to heart. But do you know what, seriously, what I thought when he said that? Why not? Like, why can't you just fill all those roles for me? You know, in my naive state at that point, that's what I was thinking, like, why can't you fill all those roles for me? You know, because I was looking for something other than what it was humanly possible to give. Kind of said it tongue in cheek, and I kind of took it as tongue in cheek, but why not? But in reality, that was leading to a lot of pressure from me that was unspoken. because I'd do a lot and then I'd get really disappointed. I'd do a lot and then I'd get disappointed, right? And people are feel that from us, or you give up. And when someone gives up on you or you give up on them, that's pretty hard on the relationship too, because it feels like we failed. But we were never going to succeed at completing each other. It was a battle lost in the beginning. We could have never succeeded in that. So is what I'm now saying, what I've gone on to say, making sense to you? What are your insights, ladies? What are you realizing from what I'm saying? Before I go any more, I'm going to make sure you're with me all the way. Each other. Tell me. Okay, that's a great question, Ilfa. I will answer your question. How does one achieve love for Allah without wanting something back? I will share that, inshallah. Nehru, by learning about Allah through his attributes can help. Yes, but also, well, I'll share with you a little bit of my suggestions too, but just like Nehru, that is part way there of what I was going to say. Don't have high expectations from the person whom you donate favors to. Wanting from Allah. So what else? What did you see in you? So tell me that. What did you see in you as I was sharing all of that? What did you see happen to you? What did you learn about you? What did you learn about your relationship? You saw how you were. Yes, possibly most of us saw ourselves in that story. Saw your weakness in trusting Allah. You saw your whole life play out. That it's normal to get a different reality to what you expected. Yeah. Expectations that you have of others are often unrealistic. Yes. You realize why you were yearning. Yeah. Do little and often, but it has to be because you want Allah's pleasure. Absolutely. You saw failure in marriage. Yeah. You saw how deluded we can become. Yeah. Honestly, the day I kind of started to realize this, I felt like I woke up. Yeah, it was so much easier. Alhamdulillah. If you have expectations from anyone other than Allah, you will certainly be disappointed. Absolutely. But we don't know this when we go into marriage. No one told us. Or if they did, we still didn't listen because we wanted to feel love. We have this idea of what romance is going to be and what marriage will be, And even if someone did tell us, I don't think we hear it, to be honest. As Mina says, we make so much effort in anticipation to receive the love of creation. Most of the time they didn't even see our effort, whilst Allah is descending down to us in anticipation to receive love from us. Not to benefit himself, of course, but to benefit us by showering his love back on us. Alhamdulillah. It's true. Astaghfirullah, may Allah forgive us. None of us did it intentionally. But that's why I wanted to cover this topic today. We need to talk about it. We need to see it. You saw how we were relying on a postman, yeah? How, to be honest, they sell you what you want to hear before you get married. Yes, that can happen to you. Maybe they don't say, I'll complete you. But maybe they also want to be what you want of them. Because of course, who doesn't? We don't want to disappoint each other. We want to be, but we can't humanly be. Can you be everything for another person? It's not humanly possible because you're not Allah. You can't attend to a person's every need and want and desire. Even you can't do it because you are not human. You're only human, you are not Allah. Right? You saw that you were not to be disappointed when you are rejected. But we even think of the word rejected as if it's me that's being rejected. What if it's not? Maybe it's not. Sometimes, like I saw that rejection was my glasses I wore through life. So that's what I'm saying to you. For me, I saw everything as if I was being rejected, but it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that. It was that person being just more consumed in their own head as well. But sometimes, we can be really busy in our head and not see what's really in front of us. But the other person can take that as it's personal, it's me. and it might not be, you know. Um, I think it's important for anyone thinking of marriage to know themselves before getting into marriage. Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? At the same time, whilst it's important and whilst, you know, we need to share this understanding and realization, everyone is going to go on the journey of love rules for them. There's a beauty in having not found it, having been so disappointed that when you find it with Allah, you have such conviction because you know you'd always wanted it, and suddenly you realize it didn't matter where I went, whose door I went knocking on to find the delivery man. The delivery man did not really exist. And Allah, when I found you, then I knew the true source of love and peace and comfort that I've always been looking for. Sometimes we have to come away to know what we don't have, you know, and everyone is on their journey. Yes, I will still keep sharing this message, you know, but it will happen as Allah wills. We never knew these things before marriage. No, you learn them after this huge kind of like, whoa, what happened? You know, like, what just happened? Didn't work out how I had in mind. Why is it not like this romantic fairy tale that, you know, that marriage is meant to be like? Absolutely. Sometimes accepting the other person for the way they are rather than what you want them to be. That is key. What if actually you could accept them for who they were without actually expecting anything to change? Wanting is different from what Allah is giving you. Allah may give you what you want. You may want more. But what if you could just accept who Allah gave you? Because at the end of the day, you're married because that's the will of Allah. Or you did marry because that was the will of Allah. So yeah, we could accept people for who they are. And for the sisters who are no longer married, but inshallah, this will now help you, one, maybe to take off some pressure about why it failed, but also moving forward, you might feel like, okay, I get it now. You know, like I'm ready, you know, inshallah. It's like anyone who, do you know how many ladies get pregnant on my course? It's like, I do a parenting course, and then they're like, I know what I'm doing now. But there's always babies coming, alhamdulillah, so beautiful. But it's almost like when you figure out what it is, because we were trying to work out what went wrong. And it's really simple, but sometimes you have to go on the journey to experience that, to know. All right? Do we all get married? Right, Hafsa asked, do we all get married thinking we just want love? I think you're going to get a million yeses, maybe 39 yeses to that. Getting to know ourselves is a lifelong journey. Yes, and learning about Allah is a lifelong journey. You know, like before, if someone had said to me, you could feel all that love from Allah, I wouldn't have believed it. For me, Allah was a kind of creator, and you know, and the one who, you know, punisher or whatever. I don't know what I was thinking, but the one whose laws you had to abide. But this connection and feeling, I didn't know that. So if other people spoke about it, I didn't really know what they were talking about. You have to go on that journey sometimes that Allah takes each of you on, you know, each of us. But the more people you hear talk about it, the more you become intrigued, the more you look for it. You know, that's when I started making those du'as for, Ya Allah, you know, give me your love and help me to love you. You know, those beautiful du'as. I started making those because I wanted to feel that love. And I didn't know what that felt like. You have to mingle with beggars to find your way to the King of Kings. Alhamdulillah, we have some funny analogies today. Yeah. But absolutely right. As the sister about rejection said, I felt it at first, but then realized it's not completely not. That we are human. We can be hurt by people's words and actions. We can. Sometimes we take it in a way that it does hurt, and then we can really hurt ourselves by keep thinking about it more and more, and we can think that it's because I'm not loved, I'm not good enough, and it doesn't mean all of that. Because even if someone didn't see that you were, whatever is the word, good enough, it doesn't mean you're not. Because often we don't see what is in front of us. That's all of us. We don't see what's in front of us. So just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So just because someone might not even treat you or see what you do or see that you're good enough, doesn't mean you're not. Doesn't mean you're not. So when you realize that, the hurt passes. Because you know what? The only one who's good enough stamp you want is Allah. That's the only one who's going to count for you in the day of judgment. And alhamdulillah, He's the most merciful. He's the most forgiving. He's the most loving. He's the most generous. He's the most merciful. Alhamdulillah, He's the only one whose stamp really counts. Imagine if we were judging ourselves by our standards or other people, by their standards. Alhamdulillah. Yes, as Mina says, the best love story is the one between you and Allah. You think that, do you think we do so incorrectly? Or we clouded? Look, in a relationship, what you get is you get physical companionship, right? Someone there to talk to, someone there to spend time with, right? Someone there to kind of share the journey of home life with, parenting with. You get that. But Allah sends you love from so many different places. So if you don't get it in different relationships, you will get it in other relationships, from Allah. But you will only ever see that when you acknowledge that it's really coming from Allah. Right? Do you only find yourself once? You only find yourself once. You have a connection with Allah. For my own journey, it was a step by step, like, but whatever. No, you know what? I think the answer is yes. You start to feel less and less bad, like you can make sense of other people's behavior. You can realize, well, it's them, that's their problem. It doesn't mean anything about you. You can do all of those steps, but the real peace only comes within you. The completion that I'm okay, that, you know what, I'm okay. You're only ever okay when you realize you're connected to Allah. You have Allah. Allah is with you. When you find Allah, it's like you're a butterfly with wings. Up until then, it's as if you're just trying to flap with kind of a broken wing and going, I'm fine, don't worry about it. That's your problem that you're not flying. I'm just trying to keep going here. But until we really, really see Allah as our source of everything we need, then I don't think we find ourselves, because who are we without Allah? I think it's not that you find yourself, you realize who you are. You've realized that you are the slave of your master. Who are you without a master? You're always going to be figuring that out. Looking for masters in this world and that world and here and there. What do I do? Who do I serve? Who do I please? Right? And until you find your master, you find your purpose, you find your belonging, then actually it gives meaning to whatever you do, because what you do now is, oh, my master's told me to be kind to you. So, okay, I'll make you tea and I'll serve you, whatever, but I'm now doing it for my master. He's rewarding me, he's remunerating me, so I don't really need anything from you. I'm just so grateful I have my master. I'll do it, I'll do whatever I can for everyone. And it comes from a place of, I can give, and I don't need to receive anything from you, because I have in abundance. I have in abundance from my Lord. I have more than I need from my Lord. He gives me more than I could dream of. So I don't need anything from anyone else. I love to share people's company and people's kindnesses and people's generosity. Of course, I love that connection between people. It doesn't make you cold and you don't need people, or that you don't want to be in their company. But maybe you just don't need them anymore in the same way. Just enjoy their physical companionship, because even that's a blessing from Allah. Does that answer your question, sisters, on how you love for the sake of Allah? Tell me if you're with me. Yeah. What, a few more yeses, ladies? Want to make sure you're with me? Okay, alhamdulillah. How can we be sure of our intention? And that's really key. So let's look at, I think from a realization, I was going to say, let's look at why it went wrong in the first place. From the thought that you can make me, you can complete me, you can give me this, you can give me that. But when we realize you can't give me, you can show me love and you can do acts of kindness and generosity and mercy towards me. Of course, we can do that for one another. Don't need a husband for that. We can all do that for each other. We're doing that for each other all the time. So we can do that for one another. You can do that for me. But the feelings I want, that can only come from Allah. When you understand that, automatically your intention shifts. Because you won't be asking the milkman to give you orange juice. Although back in the day when I was growing up, they also gave you orange juice, right? But do you know what I mean? You know you can't get it from one place, so you won't ask for it from that one place. When you realize you can't get it, it's not humanly possible. It's not because of you and you not being good enough or you not doing enough that there's something lacking in you. It's not because of that. It's just because it's not humanly possible for any one of us to give what Allah gives us. Would you be happy with a salad when you long for a donut, Amina? Exactly. So I was talking about the donut being far more fulfilling and the salad being more nutritious. Yes, okay, ladies, okay. Are you all fasting? This will be the conversation next week when everyone's fasting. Okay, I'm going to draw you something. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try this whiteboard. Bismillah, let's try it. Okay, undo. I was trying it earlier. See if it works. Okay, let me close the chat box for a minute and close your lovely pictures. Right. So normally in a relationship, I can't draw straight. Just bear with me. You've got wife and husband. Okay, and it goes like this. I'll do for you, and then you give me back. There's two lines there. So I do for you, and you do for me. I give you, you give me. I'll do that for you, and you give me back. I'll cook a nice meal for you, and you give me appreciation back. I'll watch the kids for you, and in return, you'll show me respect. We often do things to receive something. And we often in marriages want to seek our value in one another. Okay? However, this model I call ego love because I'm doing it in expectation to receive something back. That's why maybe I could never really say I love you for the sake of Allah, because my love wasn't for the sake of Allah. My love was for the sake of me. I wanted something back. So that's where it failed for me. And maybe for most of us. Now, if I can undo what I want to show you now is how it actually works. Please let that help me to write this properly. This is really hard to write with a mouse. I intended to make a slide, but I didn't manage to. So, oh gosh, let's straighten that. 1, 2. Okay, it's husband and wife. But if you imagine that Allah is the giver of everything. So Allah gives to you and Allah gives to your spouse everything that you want. Everything that you want. is there from Allah. And maybe you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. Always. And Allah gives us what we want as well. But sometimes what we're expecting, we might not get. Maybe we expect too much, or maybe it's not good for us. Allah knows best. But everything that we receive, think of it this way, is coming from Allah. So then, what are we meant to do for our spouses? If I get everything from Allah, and my husband gets everything from Allah, what can we do for one another? Out of gratitude for that, I'm going to write gratitude, but I think it's going to be really odd. This is very painful. I can't even do this. It must be painful to watch and painful to do.
Amina, use the text. Can you see the text? The T for text?
The text. Oh.
Can you see it? Yeah. And then just do a book. And then right. There we go.
Big kisses for you. There's a rose coming your way. Out of gratitude to Allah, I am kind and loving to His creation. And I can put my right on that now. Okay. Does that make sense, ladies? So out of gratitude to Allah, that I can see what is coming to me is coming from Allah, that I show love and mercy and compassion and kindness. I try to show those attributes that Allah has. You know, Allah is Ar-Rahman. Allah is Al-Wadud. Allah is Al-Hakim. So He's very wise in how He behaves. So even to kind of, it wouldn't be wise to say, well, I don't need you. I don't need you anymore. That wouldn't be wise. So with wisdom, I don't say those things, but I know it in my heart that what I need comes from Allah. But out of gratitude to Allah, I give to His creation. And who more worthy than your own household? And it doesn't matter then if I don't get anything back. It doesn't matter if you don't get anything back. Or you don't get appreciation because you were never doing it for the appreciation. You're doing it out of appreciation to Allah. And Allah will never miss what you're doing. He will never not see it. You can accept the gift of the companionship, and it might not be the companionship you had in mind. Like you might not be spending hours every evening just talking for hours, but it might be the companionship where you're sharing companionship of raising children together, or you share the companionship of finances together, or you share the companionship of, you know, house chores together, or you share the companionship of serving Allah together. So for whatever you're meant to get from that relationship, you will get. But you won't see that blessing from Allah if we're in the mindset of disappointment, hurt, loss, withdrawal. We're not going to see it. I'd like to nail it my hour. Oh my gosh, this is a topic we could talk about all day. Tell me what you're taking away from this. What might change for you from this point forward? I won't go around asking everyone one by one, so can you all please type? It's quicker that way. But by hearing someone else's, we might take away a bit more than what we had initially. And the only way you're going to feel gratitude if you accept what Allah gave you. When you accept what you have, you will stop being in the mindset of, I didn't get what I wanted, I'm disappointed. So then you can see what you have got. But know that actually, Allah is always giving you everything. Knowing that truth, that's a fact, that's truth, 100%. Anything that you have in your life is coming from Allah. I know, Zahra, it is natural to be expected to be loved. It's become natural. It's the conditioning of our society. It's the conditioning of the way we look at marriage. And I'm not saying we shouldn't show love to one another and be loving in what we do for one another, but we need to know the source of that love. That's all I'm saying. What is the source of that love? Because you're always being loved by Allah, whether or not you see it through that creation that you want to see it through. Let me say that again. You are always being loved by Allah, whether or not you see it from the source, from the creation that you want to see it from. Just because your husband's not showing you love does not mean Allah does not love you. The very fact that you believe in Allah means He loves you. The very fact that you believe in Allah means He loves you. So you're always being loved by Allah. He's the source of love. Even if you don't see it coming from a particular creation, does not mean you are not loved. So let me read some of your feedbacks. Oh, mashallah, it's really lots there. Okay, bismillah. The Sister Meru, it shifted her focus from the gift to the one who gave it. Alhamdulillah. Poor all the delivery men now are going to be like, where's my cake? Marina, appreciate that your husband is just a gift and expect nothing back, and just appreciate the gift and the giver of the gift. If we put our focus on the giver of the gift, we're just grateful that we've been given a gift. You know, if you're going to constantly, every day, send someone a package of love, imagine if every day you went out and you posted a package of love for someone every day, and that person was receiving that package and forgetting to thank you. Yet you continue to do it day in, day out, day in, day out. You know? One sister said it's challenging, but because it seems natural this way. Okay, for that sister Zahra, does it make sense though what I'm saying? I know you've been used to seeing it that way, but what I'm saying, does it resonate with you? Love is a provision from Allah, yeah. And the best love is to receive the eternal love of Allah, exactly as we know. Marion said, how to be with her ex and how to be better with her children, how to be more merciful, and simply knowing I'm blessed and grateful for Allah's love. Alhamdulillah, that's beautiful. Rosina said, expectations, changing the way you think about things that you have, and don't, and not that it's the glass half empty or full analogy, depends on how you look at it. You know, from Allah, your glass is always full. Always full. Fatima said, I need to understand that I do things for the sake of Allah and for the love of Allah, and also to know that everything comes from Allah. You know what? You already know that. You know, and it will just take submitting to that, kind of letting go of our ideals, that will just help you to get there, inshallah. Someone just said to me, you may have just saved my husband's life with this call. May Allah bless your marriage, sister, and all of you, and all of your lives, and more than your marriage, may Allah bless you to know and feel His love for you, to experience the sweetness of that. Because it's there. It's there. Whether or not you're experiencing it, it's just because you're not tuned into it, but it's always there. Stemeru says, to accept your humanity, but put in your effort, however gradual, to transcend to your spiritual self, using the love of Allah as your motivation. Yeah, and the pleasure of Allah, like Allah's love for you, alhamdulillah, and our love for Him. But to seek His pleasure, yeah, the one who loves you the most, you want to please them the most. The one who loves you the most, you want to please them the most. So when you remember that love, it motivates you to want to seek to please Allah through the people that He has in your life. I'm going to give you a great analogy before we go on this, actually. I'll just read a few more comments and then I will stop. Sometimes you can forget that, particularly if you feel you're going through a difficult time, and you can tend to think of Allah is upset with you or has forgotten you. Allah will never forget you. Allah will never forget you. You know? And even if we may think of Allah as depriving us, Well, like I said, sometimes we have to come away from Allah to know Allah, to really appreciate and hold on and value this gift that we have with Him. So Fatima, it makes sense for me now on questions that these are questions that she's been repeatedly asking herself. Sister Zara, you were saying not really to what? I asked you a question, but I have so many comments here. I've forgotten what you said, but you are saying, yes, Allah is our creator. Question, Amina's asking, are we pleased with the glass, whether it's half full or half empty? Now that's a question, alhamdulillah, because the glass in itself is a gift. Sister Zara says, I can love any children unconditionally without expecting anything in return, but however, when it comes to men, I find that harder to grasp. Okay, and it might just be because you were used to that for a long time. Sorry, did you want something? Oh, sorry, I just need to give my... I can't see. Yes. Sorry. Oh, my microphone is... I won't keep you. Can you hear me still? Yes. I won't keep you too long, ladies. It's a lovely conversation. All these messages. I don't see myself giving unconditionally. I know it's a hard shift to make, but the moment the penny drops, it will get easier because you will know, but it doesn't matter how conditional my love is. The condition only hurts us because it's never going to be fulfilled. The only person we hurt with having that conditional love is ourselves, because we're forever disappointed in that cycle. It's so Sina says, it's Allah who has kept me going, and believe me, I have suffered a lot. Oh, may Allah ease your suffering, sister. May Allah help you to keep finding strength in Him alone. Sister Aisha says, this makes sense to me. Now your intention and expectations are very, very important. Absolutely. Holding on tight, Sister Aisha says, to the rope of Allah. I'm going to give you an analogy that might help you to understand this. You know, sometimes in life, the sisters who heard me train at the weekend, you will know this, so sorry if I'm repeating it. But sometimes in life, hello, baby.
Rock song.
Yes, you can watch Paw Patrol.
The rock song.
What is that? My babysitting time is over. My eldest daughter is looking after them. Really. Sometimes we can get caught in how to do things, how to get there. We're focused on the destination. We're constantly focused on the destination, right? Where we've got to get to. Like the marriage, how does it have to be? You know, our parenting, how do we have to be? How do our children have to be? We're constantly focused on the destination. Where we've got to get to and what's the best route to get there. But what happens in that is we lose sight of something very, very important. You see, sisters, you are not the pilot. You are the plane. Allah is the pilot. And your children and your spouses and the people that are in your life, they're your passengers. So whilst we're trying to figure out our destination and how to get there and the best route, we lose out on giving the people, the passengers, the best service. So they can the only thing you can really do, because whatever you do, it's Allah who's the pilot of your lives and the journey you're going to take and how you're going to have some sort of, tying your camel effort, but Allah is in control. And instead of focusing on how am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? When we focus on what sort of airline are we? Are we a budget airline, or are we Are we a budget airline, or are we are we a presidential plane? For those passengers that Allah has blessed to be in our lives, what sort of airline are we going to be for them? So rather than focusing on where this needs to be and how this needs to be, why don't we just focus on servicing those who Allah has put on our planes? That's what I was going to say. Has this helped, sisters? Give me some feedback. Yes. Just
Mommy?
yes. Yes, alhamdulillah. Okay. You love that analogy. Yes, I know. It came up a bit more detailed yesterday. Were you going to give, you know, a beautiful 3-course meal, or were they going to have to bring their own sandwiches on the plane? You know, were they going to have leg room, or were they going to have a bed, you know, to rest on? We can really, really just on. Are your in-laws your passengers too? Yes. Anyone who is in your life is a passenger. Some people, they're only here for a short. They get on, they get off quickly, and then others are with you for the long haul. But whoever is in your life are your passengers. They're in your life. They're in your plane because of Allah has put them in your plane. EasyJet or Emirates, yeah. Well, someone said to me yesterday, what about Air Force One? Yeah. Sometimes we have a bumpy journey. Yeah. You know, you always thought you were the pilot. Yeah, something that my sister just messaged me. I always thought I was the pilot. SubhanAllah. Yeah. And Sister Tahmina says, I'm a presidential plane, alhamdulillah, and all the people I want to have the best service as Allah is my pilot. Yeah. The pilot just needs you to get on and take care of the passengers. But there we are knocking on the cabin door saying, are we going this way? Are we going that way? We should have been going this way. It should have been like this. It should be like that. Why are we not there yet? And we're constantly knocking on the cabin door, telling the pilot which way we want it to go. That actually, we fail to serve the passengers on the plane. All you can do is serve the passengers on the plane. You can't receive from them. What you receive is from the pilot. That's all you can do. Okay. So I guess you like the analogy. I'm hoping this makes sense to you and has been helpful. We'll open up the chat box. Please continue chatting in there. I can't keep you any longer. So I will leave it there for you, sisters, inshallah. We didn't break out in the small chat group, so definitely please chat your message. If this has opened up anything for you or it's not, doesn't seem as simple, of course everyone's situation is different, then please do message us, and you can message us privately, or you can message us on sisterseekingsalam@gmail.com. And inshallah that will, you know, that we'll pick that up and help you with all these comments that topics that we're discussing. We're helping you find relief in them, but at the same time, it might help you to just have a further kind of, you know, further discussion, talk about it, and we're here for you, inshallah. So I'll leave it there. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum, sisters. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, I'm glad you've had a good session. The sisters not on the WhatsApp group, please let us know and we will add you. I'm glad you found it helpful. Okay, ladies. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Is it okay to just ask if anyone is on the WhatsApp group or isn't on the WhatsApp group that wants to be? Because I think that we had a couple of newbies on today. So if they do, pop in the chat and we can add them to it.
Mm-hmm.
Amina, have you stopped the recording?
I can chat message afterwards. So if you private message me your phone number, I can send you the link.
Stop the recording, honey.